you've got plenty of space around you for today's session, so you're not getting hit anything or anyone. And we could just start by bringing that focus in. Start with the breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Continue that breathing at a nice steady pace, and whenever you're ready to, start to close down your eyes and bring that focus into the breath. So focusing on how the breath affects you when you breathe in and how it affects you as you breathe out. Breathe in, you'll notice that the chest rises slightly. You maybe feel the air rushing down into your lungs, inflating the chest. Maybe sit up a little bit taller as you do so. As you breathe out, notice the shoulders relax, sort of come forward slightly, and just notice that rhythm of your breathing and how it goes. By focusing on that breath, we're shutting out the rest of the noise from around us, the noise of the day, the noise of our mind, and it just brings that focus in, and that just helps us to relax. It lowers down the blood pressure, helps the nervous system just to calm down, puts us in a more relaxed state, and that's where we want to be for the beginning of today's session. And where we'll be probably for the most of today's session, we're not going to be too active today. We're going to be fairly relaxed. It's a mindful movement session. Sometimes we do a little bit more active with it, but today we're going to be more on the relaxing side of things. Just nice deep breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Let's calm it down there. Now we're in that much more relaxed state. Keep your eyes closed, keep your breathing going. But as you do so now, I want you to thank yourself for being here today. Turning up is the first step of staying committed to these sessions. So congratulations for doing that. Give yourself a thanks for turning up today, being here. But also reminding ourselves that now we're here, it's time to focus. We don't need to worry about what's happened before us today. We don't need to worry about what's happening around us or what's happening after the session. Just this next hour, just focusing on yourself, the movements we do, the breathing we're doing, and staying grounded and focused throughout this hour. And it's fine if you don't stay focused and you find yourself wandering, you just pull yourself back in, just get back on track again. Okay, keep your breathing going, but start to open up your eyes again. As you breathe in, now we're going to shrug up. And as you breathe out, you relax down. Link it in with your own breathing. Don't have to go at my pace with how my shoulders are going, just however long it takes you to breathe in, shrug up. However long it takes you to breathe out, relax down. Welcome into those who joined whilst our eyes were closed. Welcome. Shrug those shoulders up, squeeze them tight, get some tension in there, and then as you relax, just release that tension off. Going. we're going to do the same, but instead of going up and down, we're going to come forwards as we breathe out. And then as you breathe in, squeeze those shoulder blades together, puff that chest out, and then go back and forth between the two. Again, squeezing the shoulder blades as you come back this time as you breathe in. Squeeze them together, and then as you breathe out, relax it forwards and push those shoulders forwards a little bit as well. Back to movements, linking it with your breath. However long it takes you to breathe in, pull those shoulder blades back, squeeze them tight. However long it takes you to breathe out, relax and push them forward. Okay, we're going to return to some normal breathing, but now we're going to rotate those shoulders round. Just nice, gentle circles. We don't need to go to the ends of our range of motion. We can just do nice, gentle movements, just getting them going around. Nice and gentle circles here. You can, if you can get a little bit more range of motion in there. Now we've got them mobilized a little bit more. Doesn't have to be a huge difference. Try and just get a little bit extra range there. Good. Let's change direction now, so going the opposite way. And again, just nice, gentle rotations. Warming up those shoulders, getting them mobile. Sending the blood, the nutrients, all the things that it needs to help it mobilize, help it warm up. Let's go back to going forwards again, but this time we're going to put our hands on our shoulders as well. We can start to bring some circles into it. So drawing a circle with the elbows there. They don't need to be massive. They can just be whatever feels right to you for getting them round, mobilizing it the best you can. It's too much to do both arms at the same time. You can always do one and then the other. That's easier for you. Just do what works for you. So if it's both arms at the same time, that's fine. If it's alternating, it's also fine. If it's just one and then the other one whatever you need to do to get this done, I don't mind. Let's change direction now. So again, we can go double arm, or we can go arms at alternate places, or just one arm, the other arm, whichever works. Don't yawn, Julie, you'll set me off as well. Good work, just nice, relaxing circles, getting them going around. Good work. Okay, bring them nice and relaxed down. Let's go back to our breathing again, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Now, as you breathe in, we bring the hands up, turn them round. As you breathe out, push down. Repeat through that. Breathe in, breathe out. You breathe in, pull it up. As you breathe out, push it out now in front of you, and then relax it down. And again, if you need to, you can do it double arm as you breathe out, or you can do it single arm as you breathe out. Whatever works for you. If you are doing it single arm, you can swap arms each time. I'll give a demonstration of that. So you just do one, then you can swap to the other. Or if you're doing two, it's just both at the same time. That's all going to depend on mainly your core ability more than anything, because holding it out here as you breathe out is quite tricky. So and we bring it up instead of going forwards, we come to the side. Down, breathing in as you bring it up. Breathe out, push out, relax down. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to come up, around, gather. Imagine you've got clouds above your head, you're going to gather them, you can bring them down into your stomach. As you bring those arms up and around, breathe in. Breathe out as you push it down into your tummy. Obviously, I'm getting a big circle here, but if you can't get your arms fully up and over your head, just get to where you can. So even if it's just a smaller one, or even just a little one above your chest, wherever you can get to, just do what you can. Just do a nice big circle round and then bringing it down. As you breathe out, breathe in, big circle. Breathe out, push it down. Make this one the last one, and then we're going to reverse the direction. Now, so we're going to push up, and bring it out to the side. So breathe out as you push up. Breathe in as you bring it round. Again, if you can't fully stretch those arms up above your head, just get to where you can. If that's just a smaller version, smaller, doesn't matter where. Just get the biggest version of it that you can do. For this next one, we are going to reach across our body and then bring it right the way round the other way. So one hand comes across and then around, trace a line. If you can, try and keep your arm parallel to the ground the whole time and almost imagine that the palm of your hand is skimming across the water. So if you've ever done that in the pool or the sea or any sort of water or even the bath where you skim your hand across the top, you can sort of just about feel the water on the palm of your hand. Doing that, so coming across the body and then skimming it across the surface of the water. Just get to where you can with this, but if you can, try and reach maybe just a little bit more, and then as you come around, reach out a little bit more around the front. But only go within the limits of your balance. If you need to balance a bit more, you can use the other hand as a bit of a support. As you come out, you should be getting maybe just a little bit of a stretch in there. And you can always hold on to a desk or something as well if that helps. If you need to do it when you come round, just some extra little things just to, if you need it. Reach across and then around. Now what we're going to do is reach across, but instead of coming to the front, I want you to bring it up and over the best you can. Okay. And then out to the other side, and up and over. And again, if you can't get your arm up and over, you can just come up and a bit forwards, or continue with the one we're just doing, but try and just elevate that arm up as you come over is the main thing here. Come back to some shoulder rotations now. A little bit forwards. And a bit backwards. Let's bring our hands into around about our shoulder chest area here. We'll bring one hand forwards and then bring it back. And then swapping over and bringing it back. Breathe out as you push out. Breathe in as you pull it in. This one, you almost want to imagine your hand is like a gentle wave slowly crashing up onto a beach.
We're all handing each other dollar bills.
Well, thank you, because actually I'm not beyond the screen. Only dollar bills? You not make it a 10? If you can reach it forwards a little bit more. And if you need to, I like to just rest one hand on and stretch it forwards. Bring it back. I like to bring my head down in line as well. So I'm looking down at the end of the movement. That just helps me to increase that stretch a little bit more. But only do where you can get to, especially if you feel like you're going to fall forwards. Don't do that. So breathe out as you push out still. Breathe in as you pull in. And we get a little bit extra with this one as well. So as we reach forwards, come up and over and bring it down. And again, just the best you can do with this. So if you can't fully come up and over like so, just come up and around to the side, or wherever you can get to on this. Back everybody. And then let's come back into the middle and we start over again, but we come out to the side now. So out to one side, bring it in, out to the other side, and back again. Breathe out as you push out, breathe in as you pull it in. Bend it a little bit more. So as you reach out a little bit more, and you can always bring the head down onto the arm as well. Bring it back in, going back and forth between the two. Just a little bit more. So reach out, up and over, and down to the other side. And remembering our cue here, we go up and over, and imagine you're pulling a seatbelt on and clipping it in. Bringing it in. Let's go back to some shoulder rotations. Change direction. And nice work. So we're halfway through the session. Let's have a little hydration break. And we will move into the next bit with some spinal mobility after that. And don't feel like you have to limit yourself to the break time, the hydration. If you need a drink in between, don't feel like you're like, when is it? When is it? Just go for it. Just have your drink. You need a rest at any point as well. Remember, these are your sessions. I'm just here to guide you through them. So if you need to do anything different, absolutely fine. No problem here. Good. Okay. So once everybody's done that, we're going to go into some spinal mobility next. So we'll start with our neck, and you guys are used to this one by now. So just nice gentle movements, looking up, looking down. I'm just going nice, gentle flow between going up and going down. And we can link our breathing in here as well. Just whatever feels natural. For me, it's breathing in as I look up, breathing out as I look down. Well, nice, gentle movements. Okay, the next time you find yourself looking down, let's hold it there for a little bit. And just let gravity take over. And just letting your head gently relax into the movement or into the position. Keep it there, but just breathe into it. Just let the relaxation take over here. You can maybe increase the stretch a little bit just by tucking that chin in a bit more. But that may restrict your breathing, so don't do it for too long if that's the case. Down to a couple of looking up and down. Next time you find yourself looking up, let's hold it there. And if you need to increase the stretch, you can put your hand on your sternum, pull the skin down as you look up, keep the mouth closed, and hold that position. Still hold it there, but at any point you need to just relax out of it and come back into it. That's absolutely fine. Do what you need to do here. Just do the best you can with it. Out of there. Let's go into the looking up and down again. Just as we ease out of that one. And then we're going to go into the rotation next. So looking left, looking right, back and forth between the two. You find yourself looking to the left, let's hold it there. And then if you need to, you can put your left hand on your right collarbone and pull that down sort of diagonally towards the armpit. You get a bit more of a stretch through that neck area there. And have a play with it. You'll sort of, if you can't quite feel it, just move your hand around. You eventually sort of start to feel a bit more of a stretch. And it should be somewhere between where your jawline changes direction, just under your ear, and then coming down towards the collarbone area. Down to there, let's do a couple of looking left and right. Next time you find yourself looking to the right, let's hold that position. And again, we can bring the hand in if you need to. Yeah, that stretch. Again, if you're not quite feeling it, just play around with the hand position, maybe even the position where you're looking, you can look slightly up. But again, from left to right. Good, let's go into our lateral flexion now. That's where we bring one ear to one shoulder, to the other. This is where I always get the clicks in my neck as I go back and forth, especially on the first couple. And then when you find your left ear on your left shoulder, holding it there, and if you want to increase stretch, you can bring the right arm down, to the opposite arm down to the ground, and then that increases the stretch. So left ear's on left shoulder, right arm drops down to the ground, increases that stretch. You need to change position slightly, you can always try and bring that hand behind you. That just shifts the where the stretch is, and just whichever one works for you, whether it's straight down or arm behind, just go with the one that works for you. Yeah, let's ease out a bit. Couple of lefts and rights, the lateral. And then when we find ourselves on the other side, we could drop the other arm down and feel the stretch there as well. Couple of lefts and rights. And then we're going to move on to the rest of our spine. So starting with the flexion and the extension, if you already know what to do, you can continue. If you don't, we go extending through and then curling over. As we extend, we're trying to arch like a high jump going over a pole, As we curl forwards, we're curling like a prawn and going back and forth between the two. So that's the main focus here is not just hinging at the hips, we're curling our spine over. And you can almost imagine your spine is like a slinky. And with a slinky, we want that sort of even amount on every single little bit of the spring, because if you put too much on one, it causes some kinking and all that in the if you just do one bit and try and bend it over, but you want to separate all the way across. So imagine you're curling over like a slinky in one direction and then arching back, it'll be like it in the other direction. And obviously our spine isn't a spring, but it can simulate those similar movements that it does. And that's because it's made up of all those little bones going right the way from just underneath your skull all the way down to your hips. And they help us with all of our movements in our core, our neck, and everywhere. And they don't get as much love as they deserve in our modern day lives, because we tend to sit still, especially if you're in a wheelchair, for long periods of time. So we want to get these movements in on a frequent basis. They're designed to move. So let's move them. Yeah, let's go into the rotation. So rotate one side. Bring it on to the other. Back and forth between the two. This is almost like wringing out a towel. Kind of similar to this, but we don't want to go really, really far with it. We just want to go to where you can sort of feel a bit of resistance, or if you can feel your spine and your back, you can feel a bit of a stretch as you do so. Go into some lateral flexion. That's where we reach down to one side, down to the other, and back and forth between the two. As you can see, when looking on this side, I'm using the arms to support myself. We don't need to work on our core as much here. We just relax it down. And you don't have to come all the way down to the floor, but what you try and focus on is don't come down and forwards like this, or down and back. Try and stay in line. So I always like to imagine I've got a pane of glass in front of me, pane of glass in back of me, and I'm sort of shuffling between the two. Go into some whirlpools where we come around in a circle. And this one combines a few of them together. So we're coming flexion and some lateral flexion as we come around, extension, and a little bit more combination, because although our spine only has the four movements, the flexion, extension, rotation, and lateral flexion, it combines some of those together to create different movements as well, which is what makes it so versatile, what helps us to do a variety of different things. Change direction, going the other way. Okay, we have another hydration break, and then we're going to go into a slightly extended meditation bit at the end here than what we would normally do. So once you've had your drink, yeah, I'm stop here whilst I'm doing this, make it a bit easier for myself. We're going to start to do our breathing, nice and gentle to begin with, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And then when you're ready to, in the next couple of breaths, if you want to, just close down the eyes and bring that focus inwards, just like we did at the beginning of the session with our breathing. So in through the nose, out through the mouth. Let's relax ourselves down. Now our focus today is we've done a river walk before, we've done a beach walk. Today we're going to do, sorry, we've done a forest walk, we've done a beach walk. Today we're going to do a river walk, and keep your breathing going, keep your focus on the breathing as I'm explaining this. The reason for doing this is that there's a beautiful river here in Kyoto, and you can Google it after the session so you can see what it was like. But we're going to try and picture a river that you know, that you may or may not be able to walk along. If you can, imagine the path that you know. But if it doesn't have a path, imagine there is a path along there, just so you can get a bit of familiarity with the river that we're going to be walking on today. So first of all, we won't do the walk first of all, we'll just start to paint the picture within our mind. So think of a river that you know, that's beautiful and green and luscious around it. Not the LA River, a different type of river. And we're just going to imagine just the scene there. So imagine whatever the size of the river is, the way it's rushing through, and just picturing that there, imagining the colors, the way that the light is spread out. Maybe it's sunset, maybe it's middle of the day and it's sparkling on the water. And let's start to build this up here. If there's grass, if there's trees, if there's mountains in the distance, what's the sky like? To start to picture all of these things, give them shape, give them solidity, and also give them color. What is the color of the sky? Is it middle of the day, bright blue? Is it slightly later where it gets a little bit peachy and a little bit pink, or is it orange and reds? Just sort of picture what it's like and how the trees are as well in response to that. It's now autumn time, so maybe a little bit of brown, orange, yellow tints on the trees, on the leaves. Maybe the leaves have started to fall on the floor and you can see them laid out in front of you. And coming down the banks of the river, and imagining what that river looks like. Let's start to introduce some sounds to it now, so we can introduce the sound of the river. If there's any sort of mini waterfall, little cascade, whatever it may be, just going over some rocks, or maybe it's just rushing by, whatever it may be, just noticing how it sounds. Maybe there's some wildlife there as well. Maybe there's birds trying to catch fish, or the fish itself, birds flying in the sky, whatever it may be. Maybe there's a deer on the other side. Who knows? Let's just picture it however it comes to you. Now we've got our visual, we've got our sounds. Let's start to bring in a little bit of the smell of the area. Rivers do have this sort of slight smell. Some of it feels a little bit more fresh than most other places. So just noticing how it smells as well. Maybe start to notice as well, maybe the temperature around you. It's a bit cooler day. We've already mentioned it's autumn, so maybe it's a little bit cooler. And now we've got that picture in our mind as well. Let's start to travel down the river now. So whether you want to imagine you're in a wheelchair, whether you want to imagine you're walking, or even just gliding along, there's no right or wrong way to transport yourself down. This is your own space. So if you want to do it on a flying carpet, even, that's fine too. Just gently glide yourself down. And as you do, just notice how it changes as you're moving along. Notice the path laid out before you. Maybe notice the sound of leaves if you're walking or using your wheelchair, whatever it may be, over it. Just walking down. And as you're doing this, what I want you to do is just for the briefest of moments, just to check back in with your body slightly for a second. Just look inwards and just feel how you feel. Just notice how relaxed you are. Notice how your heart rate's down, the blood pressure, the nervous system is just nice and relaxed. That is why we do these meditations. It puts you into the most relaxed state possible. And it's such a great place to be to help you to just take that stress away from the day. So as we go back into our river walk again, just imagine how this could help you in situations when you're feeling stressed, when you're feeling anxious, when the weight of the world is on your shoulders. You feel like you can just go to this place, whether it's this, whether it's the forest walk we've done in the past, whether it's the beach walk, whatever it may be. And we bring it to this place where we can just be a bit more relaxed. It can help us to get through those moments in the day. And let's slowly start to bring our focus in towards the end of the session. So you keep your river and visualize in your mind if you want to as we're doing this, or you can start to close it down. I'll leave that up to you. But I want you to thank yourself, first of all, for turning up today. As we mentioned in the beginning, the turning up is always the hardest step. That's the first step. But that is the achievement, just not just doing it once, but coming week after week after week and doing these for yourself. These are your sessions. This is your goals, your motivation, your way of keeping with it. So congratulate yourself for doing so and reminding yourself that this is a good thing for yourself. It helps you during the day, helps you whatever it may be. And you can take that positivity and keep it in your mind as you go through. Linking that positive thought with the session helps to keep it something that we want to do, something that we keep doing, and it keeps us to be consistent with this as well. So if you want to pat yourself on the back, give yourself a clap, or just say thank you to yourself in your own mind, however you want to do that, that's absolutely fine. And then when we're ready to, we can start to close down the scene if you haven't already. You can start to slowly open your eyes as we come back to the room and finish today's session there. So good work, everybody.